The neon sign above Eddie's Roadhouse bar flickered like a dying star in the darkness. Rain fell steadily outside, turning the cracked pavement into rivers of reflection. Inside, the air was thick with cigarette smoke, cheap whiskey, and trouble. A man walked in tall, broad shoulders, skin the color of mahogany polished by time and pain. His eyes were calm, but sharp, scanning every corner without moving his head. He wore a simple black jacket, jeans, and boots, the kind of clothes that didn't draw attention. His name was Marcus Hale. To the world, he was just another stranger, but to those who'd fought beside him in the deserts and jungles of the world, he was Commander Hale, Delta Force, Special Operations Legend. He took a seat at the far end of the bar. Black coffee, he told the bartender. No alcohol. No nonsense. Just silence, but silence doesn't last long in places like Eddie's. At a table nearby, 4 men in leather jackets were laughing too loud, their laughter carrying the edge of arrogance and malice. Locals knew them as the Iron Vultures, small-time gangsters who ran drugs, picked fights, and thought they owned the neighborhood. One of them, a tall, thin guy with a scar across his cheek, noticed Marcus. "Yo, look at this guy," he smirked. "You lost, brother? Ain't no church service here." Marcus didn't answer. He just sipped his coffee. The silence felt like a challenge. The gang leader, Reggie Knox, stood up. Gold chains glittered around his neck. He swaggered toward Marcus, pistol tucked under his hoodie, confidence dripping from every step. "You deaf, old man?" Reggie said, leaning close. "I asked if you knew where you are." Marcus's eyes met his. Calm. Measured. "I know exactly where I am," he said quietly. "You don't." The gang laughed. Reggie's smile faded. "You trying to be funny?" Marcus set his cup down slowly. "No. I'm trying to finish my coffee." Reggie's eyes darkened. He pulled the gun, metal gleaming under the dim bar light. The entire place froze. The bartender backed away, hands shaking. A jukebox in the corner played faintly an old blues song about bad luck and bullets. "Now you'll finish nothing," Reggie sneered. "Get on your knees, tough guy." Marcus sighed. "I've been on my knees before," he said. "Praying for the lives of men who didn't deserve to die. Don't make me add you to that list." The gang roared with laughter. "Yo, this guy's crazy." Reggie cocked the gun. "Last words?" Marcus blinked once slowly. Then, without warning, he moved. It happened in 3 seconds. One hand knocked the gun aside, the other slammed into Reggie's throat with surgical precision. A knee strike shattered another thug's ribs. A backhand caught a third across the jaw. The 4th man didn't even have time to draw before Marcus's elbow dropped him cold. 4 men down. No wasted motion. No hesitation. The gun clattered to the floor. Marcus stood still, breathing steady, not a drop of sweat on him. The bartender stared in disbelief. What are you, man?" Marcus picked up his coffee again, set it back on the counter, and answered quietly, "Someone who's tired of fighting. But never forgets how." He dropped a $20 bill on the bar, adjusted his jacket, and walked out into the rain. Behind him, the Iron Vultures groaned on the floor, the sound of broken pride filling the silence. Outside, thunder rolled. Marcus disappeared into the night, a shadow returning to the quiet war no one would ever know existed. Never judge a man by what he looks like, because some men have seen more darkness than any gangster ever will. The rain had stopped by dawn. Marcus Hale stood at the edge of town, watching the sunrise burn through the clouds like a promise he no longer believed in. He hoped that quiet towns and coffee-stained bars would keep his demons at bay, but trouble has a way of remembering men like him. News of what happened at Eddie's bar spread faster than wildfire. 4 local gangsters beaten within an inch of their lives by one man. No name. No history. Just the black guy who moved like a ghost. Within hours, Reggie Knox's crew was nursing broken bones and wounded pride, and in their world, pride demanded blood. Reggie's older brother, Damon Knox, ran the real operation. Guns, drugs, and extortion stretching across 3 states. Damon wasn't some street thug. He was smart, cold, and patient. When he saw his little brother's bruised face, he didn't yell. He smiled to find him, Damon said. Alive. "I want to see what kind of man breaks 4 of mine without blinking." That night, Marcus couldn't sleep. He sat alone in his dim apartment, polishing an old silver coin, the kind soldiers carried for luck. On one side, it read, "De oppresso liber." To free the oppressed. The motto of Delta Force. Remembered the last mission deep in Syria when everything went wrong. An informant turned, a village burned, and his team was ambushed. Could still hear the screams of his men, his brothers. Only he and 1 other soldier made it out alive. The army called it classified. Marcus called it failure. He left the service soon after, tired of killing, tired of carrying ghosts, but war has a way of following men like him home. 2 nights later, Marcus sat in a diner, quiet corner, black coffee, no sugar. He noticed them before they noticed him. 3 men in leather jackets, pretending not to stare. They're amateurs, he thought. They don't know what fear smells like. He waited. Let them think they were hunters. When the first man approached, Marcus didn't move, the second one slid in behind him. The third stayed near the door. Mr. Hale, one said. Our boss wants to talk. Marcus looked up. His eyes were calm, but heavy with warning. Your boss should have sent flowers instead of bodies. The man smirked. You got jokes, huh? Marcus stood slowly. The chair creaked. Tell Damon Knox, he said, he's playing with a man who doesn't scare easy. And if he wants a war, he'll regret remembering how one starts. Then he stepped past them. No violence this time, just a message, and that message traveled faster than bullets. That night, his phone rang, a number he hadn't seen in years. Marcus Hale, a familiar voice said. This is Colonel Adams, Pentagon liaison. We've been tracking you. Marcus froze. Tracking me? Let's just say your little bar fight made its way up the chain. You might have tangled with someone you shouldn't have. Marcus frowned. Who's Knox connected to? The colonel hesitated. He's not just a gang leader. He's working with foreign buyers, moving weapons meant for US Black Ops. We were building a case. Until you disrupted it. So what do you need from me? Adams sighed. We need you to finish what you started. Marcus leaned back, silent for a long moment. I told you, I'm done. Then I hope you're ready, Adams said quietly. Because Knox isn't. The line went dead. Marcus looked at the silver coin in his hand, the symbol of a life he swore he'd left behind. He slipped it into his pocket, grabbed his jacket, and whispered to himself, guess I'm back in it. The city slept under a cold moon, unaware that a storm was coming, not of thunder, but of vengeance. Marcus Hale had tried peace, he'd tried silence, but when men like Damon Knox started hunting him, the soldier inside didn't fade. He woke up. Marcus's apartment was small, but it looked like a command post that night. A map of the city was spread across the table of photos. Notes. Blueprints of warehouses and nightclubs the Knox cartel used as fronts. He moved methodically, marking targets with red ink, connecting lines with military precision. Each X was a statement. You came for the wrong man. From a hidden trunk under his bed, he pulled out his past, a matte black pistol, a tactical knife, a silenced rifle, and a worn combat vest bearing a faded insignia, Delta Force. He placed the silver coin in his vest pocket, a reminder of why he fought and what it cost him before. Leaving, Marcus looked in the mirror. The man staring back wasn't a runaway soldier anymore. It was what the world made him: focused, cold, and unstoppable. At midnight, Marcus stood on the roof of a crumbling building overlooking the Crimson Lounge, a nightclub that doubled as the Knox cartel's main cash house. Music boomed. Guards smoked outside. Marcus watched through binoculars, whispering his plan like a prayer. 2 guards front, 1 on the roof, cameras on east and south corners. Blind spot, West Alley. He moved like a shadow, slipping down the fire escape, blending into the dark. No sound. No hesitation. The first guard didn't even see the knife coming, a silent strike to the neck, caught before he hit the ground. The second turned too late. 1 punch to the throat, another to the jaw. Down inside, Marcus cut the power. The music stopped, confusion erupted, shouting, movement, panic, and then came the whisper in the dark. Delta. Gunfire exploded, flashes lighting the room like lightning, but Marcus was already moving, rolling, aiming, firing with surgical precision. 3 shots, 3 men down. Every move was clean, every step controlled. Within 2 minutes, the building was silent again except for the faint hum of neon lights struggling to stay alive. Marcus found what he came for, a hard drive hidden behind the bar, packed with records of cartel deals, weapon shipments, and offshore accounts. He pocketed it, set a small charge under the bar, and walked out calmly. As he stepped into the night, the explosion behind him painted the sky in orange and smoke. The Crimson Lounge was gone, and the Knox cartel had just declared war on the wrong man. The next morning, Damon Knox stared at the wreckage on the news screen. His face was calm, but his eyes burned like coals. Who did this? He asked. Reggie Still. Bruised from the bar, swallowed hard. The same guy, boss. The soldier. Damon leaned forward. You mean the ghost? Yeah, Reggie said. Marcus Hale. Damon smiled faintly. Then let's make this personal. He turned to his men. I want every gun, every eye, every dollar we got looking for him. And when you find him, bring me his head. Meanwhile, Marcus met with an old friend, Sergeant Lena Brooks, a former Delta sniper turned private investigator. They hadn't seen each other since Syria. Still cleaning up messes, huh, she said, handing him coffee. Didn't plan to, Marcus replied. But they found me. Lena studied him. You're going after Knox, aren't you? Marcus nodded. He's dealing in military weapons. Someone has to stop him. You can't do this alone, Hale. Not this time. Marcus gave her a tired half-smile. I was never alone. I carry them with me, every man I lost. Lena looked at him for a moment, then sighed. Then let me help you carry the rest. They shared a silent nod, the kind soldiers give when words are useless. That night, Marcus uploaded the stolen files to a secure drive, sending copies to the FBI and the Pentagon. He knew what that meant. Damon Knox's empire was exposed, his money trails, his contacts, his dirty alliances, and when men like Knox are cornered, they don't run, they lash out. As Marcus and Lena prepared for what came next, headlights flashed outside their safehouse, engines roared, dozens of men surrounded the building. Lena loaded her rifle. They found us. Marcus chambered around, eyes steady. Good, he said. I was hoping they would. Outside, Damon's men took positions, unaware that they were walking into the hands of a man trained to fight entire armies. The war had officially begun. The Knox cartel launches a full assault. Marcus Hale and Lena Brooks prepare to fight back with nothing but skill, strategy, and courage. This chapter is pure tension, fire, and military precision. Marcus Hale and Lena Brooks make their stand against the Knox cartel. The safehouse was silent, too silent. Marcus Hale stood by the window, eyes scanning the darkness through the night mist. Headlights glowed faintly like predators' eyes, engines idled. Doors slammed, they were surrounded. Lena crouched near the back door, rifle ready. How many? She whispered. Marcus didn't blink. 20, maybe more. 2 trucks, 1 van, all loaded. They came to bury us. She smirked. Then let's give them a funeral. Marcus moved fast, the soldier in him awake and commanding, checked every corner, every angle, turning the small safehouse into a trap. He wired small charges under the windows, laid tripwires along the hallway, and set smoke grenades by the front door. Lena covered the rear, her sniper scope aimed at the tree line. Remember, Marcus said, loading his rifle, we don't fight for long. We fight smart. Every bullet counts. Lena grinned. Just like old times. Marcus's expression hardened. Except this time, there's no extraction team. The first bullet hit the wall, a loud crack that shattered the silence. Then came the storm. Automatic fire ripped through the front door, splinters flying like shrapnel, the air filled with smoke, glass, and chaos. Marcus ducked behind cover, returning fire with surgical precision. 1 shot, a man dropped, another burst, 2 more down, left flank. Lena shouted. Marcus rolled to cover as she fired from the back window, her sniper round cutting through the night, hitting a man mid-step. 5 down, she said calmly. 15 to go. Outside, the gang regrouped. Grenades clinked against the floor. Marcus grabbed one, yanked it back out the window. It exploded midair, lighting the yard with orange fire. Don't let them breach. Marcus barked. He switched to his silenced pistol, moved through the shadows, using every inch of the small house as a weapon. A flashbang went off, white light flooded the room, but Marcus had already turned his head, firing blind through the smoke. When the smoke cleared, 3 bodies lay on the floor. Front's too hot. Lena yelled, reloading. Then we make it hotter, Marcus replied. He hit the detonator. The small charges under the front windows blew, shattering glass, throwing men backward. The house trembled, but held. 8 left. Marcus shouted. He moved like lightning, grabbing a flashbang, tossing it through the back door. Screams followed. Then came silence again. Lena looked through the scope. They're pulling back. Marcus shook his head. No. They're regrouping. The real wave's coming. And he was right. From the tree line emerged a figure, tall, armored, with a heavy machine gun strapped across his chest. Damon Knox's enforcer, Vince Bulldog Morrow, a former mercenary, built like a tank. Bring me Hale's head, he roared, opening fire. Bullets tore through the walls. Dust and splinters rained from the ceiling. Move. Marcus yelled, pulling Lena into the kitchen as rounds chewed through the air. They hit the floor, breathing hard. Lena coughed. We can't hold this place. Marcus's eyes flicked toward the basement door. We won't. They slipped into the basement, an unfinished room with one small exit tunnel leading to the woods. Marcus handed Lena a detonator. When I say go, hit it. She frowned. You're not coming? Marcus gave a tight smile. I'll be right behind you. She knew he was lying. Marcus, go, he ordered, tone sharp, commanding. Reluctantly, Lena disappeared down the tunnel. Above, Bulldog and his men kicked open the main door. They advanced slowly, guns ready. Marcus waited silent in the shadows until they were all inside. Then he stepped out, rifle raised. The first burst dropped 2 men. He ducked behind cover as Bulldog returned fire, bullets hammering the walls. You think you can stop me, soldier? Bulldog roared. You're just one man. Marcus's voice came low and calm. One man's all it takes. He rolled a grenade across the floor. It bounced once, twice, then exploded, collapsing half the living room. Marcus dived for the tunnel, slamming the detonator as he went. The entire house erupted behind him, flames lighting up the forest. The shockwave threw dirt and debris for meters. Lena stumbled out of the tunnel into the woods, coughing. Moments later, Marcus emerged bruised, covered in dust, but alive. She smiled, shaking her head. You're insane. He gave a quiet chuckle. You're welcome. They stood together, watching the safe house burn to ashes in the distance, and the fire's reflection. Marcus's eyes were steady. No fear, no regret. They'll send more, Lena said. I'm counting on it. Marcus replied. He looked toward the city lights beyond the trees. Next time, we take the fight to them.